Hey everybody, it's Sunday, and I told you all I'd be here for Sunday, and here I am. Stick around, we're going to talk about Record Store Day coming right up. Hey guys, welcome back. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about Record Store Day. Yeah, I had to move my day. I release videos on Friday, but now I'm releasing them on Sunday. Hopefully, it gives me more time to edit, put things together, make it a little bit more slick and well-crafted. What we're going to do today is talk about Record Store Day. For some of you who don't know what Record Store Day is, it is a period of time in which you get vinyl records released to independent record stores. And what they do is they come up with a list every year of several, I would say about 100, 200 albums that are being pressed for the first time on vinyl, maybe a different variation. They found new tapes, master tapes of somebody, and they decide to go ahead and press that to vinyl. They give you different variations, splatter colors, opaque colors, red, blues, greens, whatever else. And they do it in limited quantities. Some as few as a couple hundred, and some as many as 20,000. So typically what you do is you find stuff you like. And that's where I'm at with this. This year's list I was kind of disappointed in. I thought there'd be a lot more stuff like past years. And I'm not seeing it this year. And it also makes it more difficult because they've broken Record Store Day into 3 different days. It's like August, September, and October. So some records will drop, I believe it's August 29th. Some records will drop September, I think it's 26th. And some records will drop October 4th. And I'll try to let you know, at least on the ones that I'm interested in, when they're dropping. I'll tell you how many there are. So the first one I want to talk about is David Bowie. It's David Bowie, I'm Only Dancing, the Soul Tour 74. This is something that they've pressed, which is during the Cracked Actor album that they released. And I actually got that the last Record Store Day. I really enjoyed that. And I'm going to enjoy this one too. It's a 2 LP album. It's taken from the Michigan Palace live concert in 1974. It follows, like I said, the last RSD release with David Bowie, the Cracked Actor one. And this is all during the Diamond Dogs tour. He took breaks from the Diamond Dogs tour to go to different venues and do different shows. This one, they didn't give a number of how many are pressed, so I'm hoping it's a decent amount. And it's supposed to come out August 29th. Other than that, that's about all the information that they've given on that one. The next one would be, which I'm kind of keen on this one, which is Brandi Carlile. Never really listened to much Brandi Carlile. I've heard some stuff, don't get me wrong, but I've never listened to a lot of it. What drew my attention to this Brandi Carlile album is the title of it is A Rooster Says. And she's going back to her Seattle roots, and she is covering Soundgarden songs, at least a couple of them that I'm aware of. It's kind of like a tribute album to Soundgarden. I'm guessing Chris Cornell as well. This should not be a difficult album to find at Record Store Day because they're saying there's going to be 10,000 copies. So if you're collecting based on the limited quantities, this is not one of those albums. This is just sheerly because I like Soundgarden, I like Chris Cornell, and boy, I plan on buying it just to listen to it. She's definitely doing Black Hole Sun and Searching with My Good Eye Closed. I know that's going to be on the album. Other than that, don't know what kind of variation, if there is any variation, meaning if it's going to be a splatter copy or blue, red, green, could just be black vinyl. But I'm interested just because of the material being used on this album. And I also like her voice. So, Brandi Carlile, A Rooster Says, comes out September 26th. Next, Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash has exactly. Johnny Cash has a 2 LP album coming out, Classic Cash Hall of Fame series, and it has the early mixes. They're talking about 5,000 copies of this, and what I'm reading about it, it says they're from newly discovered tapes in the Mercury Vault. So Mercury Records, they found these new recordings, so they've gone ahead and pressed them to vinyl. It's going to be pressed on 180 gram vinyl, so it's going to be a really good sound quality. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm a big Johnny Cash fan. I think a lot of people are. So you can't go wrong with this one. Another one of my big favorites, Miles Davis. You've heard me talk about Miles Davis in the past. This is an early recordings from the studio of Bitches Brew. It's taken from the early sessions, and it's going to be coming out on opaque red vinyl. The actual title of it is Miles Davis Double Image Rare Miles from the Complete Witches Brew Sessions. And that's going to come out October 24th. And like I said, it's going to be opaque red vinyl, and it's going to have about 6,000 copies available. So I'm hoping I'm getting one of those 6,000 copies because I really love Miles Davis. Another one, you've heard me talk about these guys as well. This one's on a 7-inch 45, and it has 2 songs on it. Both of them are covers. This is from the Dead South. It's a Canadian bluegrass band I've talked about in the past. And they're doing House of the Rising Sun and This Little Light of Mine. Now, this is a little bit more difficult to come by, and I'm hoping I can get a copy of it, and we'll see. They're going to have 500 copies available, so, and it's probably going to be a regional kind of thing, so I'm going to have to look long and hard and make friends with some people. Maybe they can be on the lookout for me as well, because it's a 45, and a lot of record stores that I go to for Record Store Day don't necessarily carry the 45. So I'm hoping I can get a copy of it. We'll see what happens. Another big one that I love, and I'm happy to see that it's getting released. Oh, by the way, Dead South, I meant to tell you, Dead South's coming out September 26th. Back to the next album coming out that I'm interested in. And I love this guy. He's gone now, died this past year, and I just, it's horrible. Dr. John, Remedies, is from his early 1970s vinyl, or 1970s songs, tracks, records. Anyway. Dr. John Remedies, it's got 1,300 copies that are going to be available. It's going to be available August 29th. And it's from his early 1970s recordings. So I'm looking forward to that. I like Dr. John a lot. I have several Dr. John albums. Always looking to get more. So the next album is Billie Eilish, Alive at Third Man Records. They did this concert last year, I believe, and I was really interested in buying a copy of the album. There were 2 different versions of the album that were produced. One of them, she hand painted, fingerprints on it, boots on it. They only made 100 copies or 200 copies of that. And then there was the standard version, which was a green vinyl, and they made, I think, 500 copies of that. The one that she actually put her handprints on and things like that are selling for about $1,000 on eBay. The other version of it is selling for about $200 to $300 on eBay. Boy, the market's going to fall on that, because Record Store Day is going to release Live at Third Man Records with Billie Eilish. And they are, and I looked at this number 3 different times, so, maybe I need new glasses, but I'm pretty sure I got these numbers right. They're going to release 17,000 copies of that. I really don't think anybody out there will miss a copy of it. If you want a copy of this Billie Eilish album, I guarantee you're going to find it with 17,000 copies. Now, that's worldwide, but still, that's a whole lot of copies of albums. So I think I did right in waiting and not paying the big prices for the albums. And, I'm going to be happy about getting a copy of the Live at Third Man Records. So, and that comes out August 29th. Now, the next one is the another favorite of mine, Charlie Parker. Jazz at Midnight. There are going to be about 4,000 copies of that. That comes out August 29th. Cool thing about it is they've recreated the whole Blue Note feel for this jazz album. Basically making it look exactly like a Blue Note pressing, except for they're doing it in midnight blue. The album, the vinyl itself will be midnight blue. And like I said, there's going to be 4,000 copies, so ought to be some out there for me to pick up. We'll have to wait and see. Other than that, I'll probably have to pick it up on a secondary market. And then lastly, I have one of these that we've talked about before. And I've made mention about Sebastian Bach and my feelings about how great a singer he is. Skid Row's Slave to the Grind, the expanded, uncensored version, which I'm very interested to hear. It's going to be a red vinyl, 180 gram for the first time in 29 years. Boy, it's been that long. It's unbelievable. It's going to be 2 LPs, and it's going to have 4 bonus tracks, and it have 2,500 copies that are going to be coming out. And that's going to be released on October 24th. So, unfortunately for me, it looks like I have 3 different days. I'm going to have to go buy albums on 3 different days. What can you do? That's if they're all there. There's some other stuff out there that I thought was interesting. I haven't decided. I might pick it up if I see it. The Ramones have an album coming out for Record Store Day. I think that ought to be pretty good. Also, Black Crowes, I believe their new album Lions is coming out. Don't necessarily have to get it Record Store Day. You can pick it up later, but that's there as well. Plus, they're also doing a 12-inch, I believe, or it could be a 10-inch of Jealousy, one of the early Black Crowes tunes. So there is some other stuff out there that I'm interested in, but not necessarily I have to have. These are more along the lines of I really would like to get these. So, but that's my list for Record Store Day. Let me know what yours are. If you have any, check out the link below for Record Store Day. Take a look at it. See what's interesting for you. Map out the days. Find your local independent record store and go to town. Go get in line, wait for them to open up, and go grab that stuff that you got to have. Because there's some really good stuff. Record Store Day always has some really good things. And even when you go into the store, you find stuff that you really didn't know you wanted or needed to have. And that's when you buy that stuff too. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, give me a thumbs up, because I need all the thumbs ups I can get. Please subscribe. And tell you what, I'll catch you listening to music.